What is up, beautiful human? I hope you are having a lovely day wherever you are. Today might be, it's going to be another casual talk, might be a bit motivational, but I really want you to be mindful of how you dismiss your talents, your ideas, and your unique ways of processing the world. We do this for a couple of reasons, right? We do this because we've always been with ourselves. Things get a little boring, routine, run of the mill once we know it, right? Like if you've done something so many times, it's not new to you. But if someone else sees you do a skill that maybe they can't do, right, that's unique to them. They're like, "Oh, you can juggle." You're like, "Yeah, but I've been juggling since I'm 5, so it's not a big deal, right, to you." But not everyone can juggle. Only certain people can juggle. Some people even get paid to juggle, right? So there's a lot of different ways you can look at this. There's a meme that circulates around, the value of a bottle of water. I think it's a great one because it's all in the eye of the beholder, right? And situationally, perception, right? So if you are trying to get a bottle of water at a ballpark, it's going to be $5, but that same bottle of water, someone could be selling from a cooler on the side of the street for $1. It's the same bottle of water. The water did not change. The perception and the value, perceived value around it changed. So if you're anything like me, you get a lot of ideas that come into your head, and these ideas are unique to you. You might think that everyone is always having ideas, but you'd be surprised. If you get a lot of ideas in your head, you've cultivated some sort of muscle, some sort of unique way, curiosity of how things connect. Not everyone is having ideas come into their head, whether they're ideas of random thoughts, how the world works, business idea, whatever it is, right? And those ideas are unique to you because you're having these ideas from connections you're making. There's a lot of skills that are somewhat easy, right? Once you know how to do it. But if you don't know how to do it, you would pay someone a lot of money to do it. For instance, if you're of an older generation, like for instance, I was talking to my parents, right? They have no idea how easy it is to build a website through like WordPress. It is super easy. You don't have to code. You can literally use templates. I've built websites before using templates. You don't have to code it or anything. But they wouldn't have any idea of that because they have no knowledge of that. So it doesn't matter, and we can dismiss our knowledge because we think it's easy. But at the same time, depending on location, when you think about that bottle of water, the way you're processing things, connections you're making are not only unique to you, but you are of value somewhere. You just have to find where you can add that value. And it's interesting, right? Because when we make connections in our head, this happens to me a lot. I've thought of so many different ideas for a gazillion things, and usually the thought process that occurs is like, it's been done before, doesn't matter, who cares? Like, so we're going to debunk some of these things, right? And these are thoughts maybe you're having, and these are processes I've had to go through. Like, it's been done before, I haven't done it before, I might be missing some connection, I'm nervous to start, right? So some of these ideas, and we can work through them. So, it's been done before, doesn't matter, just because there's one mechanic in the world, there's however many millions of cars, I assume. You need many mechanics, right? As an example. So it's like, just because it's been done before, it doesn't even matter. It's like saying someone else has created a YouTube channel, so I'm not going to create a YouTube channel. It's like, no, you're going to have your own flair, your own way. You're going to have your own unique way of handling and working with clients, right? You're going to provide a certain level of service. It's all unique. It doesn't matter if it's been built before. If your hesitation around doing anything, going out on a limb, exploring some creative endeavor is that it's been done before, you need to kill that shit. You need to kill that because that's a lie. It's a lie to keep you small. It's a lie for you to not take any action. Okay? I say this from a loving place. It's easy to think, oh, it's been done before. To think you haven't done it before, so why would you? Well, you got to start somewhere. If you haven't done it before, you gotta get started, and you're not going to know if it works until you get started, whatever it is. Mine, when I'm talking about these things, my mind gravitates towards a business idea, but it could be anything. Any hobby you're trying to pursue. Maybe instead of being isolated, you want to go out and make friends, right? You got to break these obstacles that are literally your own thoughts against you, keeping you stuck and keeping you small and keeping you safe. There's fear around, not having it all figured out. And this is where the perfectionist mindset comes in. And, you know, there's a lot of people who are perfectionists, and it ruins you. It ruins you because it's never going to be perfect. And as soon as you get it done, you move the bar on yourself. You move the bar and it's never good enough, and you're never good enough, and your work is never. So it's like, what's even the point of all that excess energy, right? It's useless. And at a point, you probably have to break out of that. The way I've broken out of that in my life is by just taking sloppy action. Thankfully, this channel has allowed me to do so. I made so many, you know how many videos I have privated? I have like 60 to 80 videos privated from the beginning. And I was all over the place. I was all over the place. And not saying I'm not still all over the place, but it allowed me to not worry about being perfect. Because when I worried about being perfect, I wasn't getting anything done. And I was hyper analyzed on saying the right thing, making sure my thoughts were aligned. You know, sometimes when I'm talking, sure, I could have spent an hour prepping and it would have been a better conversation. Like maybe I do sometimes at work, but it's never as natural. It's never as free flowing. So you decide what you want. Do you want the excess stress, burden, and loss, maybe a fluidity, but you sound better, so it's better for you? Or would you rather have something more casual, more, these are thoughts that went through my head. So I decided more casual because one, I'm going to create more, I'm going to get more reps in. And then two, double win. I don't care how I'm perceived. If I have a hair out of place, if it's not in line, who needs to control these things? It's futile. So all of this to say, think about how you're sabotaging yourself in life. Think about how you're stunting your own growth by creating these stupid stories that don't serve you, that are your mind's attempt to, grasp control of something, because you're going to learn way more by doing the reps. You're going to learn more. You're going to iterate. Trust in yourself. Have a little faith in yourself. Whatever has come to mind for you for this video. Maybe like I was saying, like, instead of, we're all trying, like, there's always something, about it. And if you don't have a situation in your life and everything's flowing for you, then this is just whatever. I'm talking about this now because it's like, it's important to me. It's a flow for me that's happening. Just don't dismiss yourself, don't do that. And we do it so subtly. We do it habitually, dismissing ourselves, staying small. Comfort too. Comfort is a big killer, but I won't go into a side tangent of that. So that's the comfort for today. Your unique ideas, your thoughts, the ways you process the world, the patterns you see, like, there's such a gift in that. If you can just tap in and see yourself the way maybe other people see you, the way you should honor yourself, that's going to change, your self-perception, which will change your actions, your beliefs. Your beliefs are really the foundation of it all. When you start trusting yourself to take the action, to do the thing, to have the discipline, that's when it all starts changing. And if there's any place that you see that you're not trusting yourself, your abilities, your thoughts, your discernment, etc., try to let that go. Because it's the very act of you feeding in to these stories like, oh, someone else has done it. Okay, I'm not going to do it. Oh, I could mess up. I'm not going to do it. I could choose wrong again. I'm not going to do it. Every time you feed into that voice, you're feeding into the lack of trust for yourself. Or every time you make a promise, I'm going to do this, and you decide you're not going to do it, you're iterating that you're not worthy to yourself, and so your reality reflects this back to you. Anyways, just some food for thought. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.